So hello there. I'm Dr. William Bird, and this is Chat with the GP, and welcome. Really pleased you're here with me today. So we've got 10 minutes to cover one unbelievably enormous subject of what supplements do and whether they work or not. And I think when we all talk about supplements, the first thing we go into is multivitamins. Multivitamins are the kind of mainstay. Everyone has got them in their house somewhere, probably the out-of-date ones going back 2 or 3 years. And in a physician study of 14,600, they took it for 11 years, there was an 8% reduction in cancer. So no other benefits of brain or vascular or dementia or anything else, but certainly that study showed that there was something. It's harmless, it's cheap, and therefore it's just going to be something we can probably live with. So if you were going to make a decision, do I do multivitamins or not? I would say you're going to not lose much on money. You're not going to lose much on any side effects. And there's a possibility of an 8% reduction in cancer. So probably a good idea to do it. And actually, after looking at this, I've actually started to think I'm going to do this. Just be careful, though. The vitamin D does need to be 400 international units. A lot of them are 200. And you can't really double up everything else. So just if you don't have very much, you might have to just supplement it. That's 10 micrograms. And that should be taken definitely during the winter when there's not much sunshine, but also probably all the year round, because we don't quite get enough vitamin D. It doesn't store, it's a fat soluble one, and therefore it's the one thing that we do get a deficit in this country. So that's the first thing, starting with the multivitamins. Now let's look at one aspect of our system, immune system, and just see, is there anything here that actually works? Well, there is. It's not a lot, and they've used common colds, which we did talk about last time, and movement on to pneumonia. But vitamin C does make a difference. We just sent, but it was some people, obesity, or if you've got diabetes, it makes a difference. It's not a huge amount, but certainly taking a higher dose, perhaps during the winter, it would be worthwhile. Vitamin D definitely helps prevent the colds going to pneumonia, the bacterial side. Zinc, it's a treatment. So you start it when you get the cold, and it has been shown to shorten the cold. Did a lot of research here and looked at all the papers, and it definitely does make a difference there. Echinacea, a lot of people like to think that that makes a difference. You can see that here. The echinacea is that lovely pink plant there. And you take it as prevention. So don't just start it when you got a cold. You take it as prevention to boost the immune system. Andrographis, which is this plant here, that lessens the symptoms. So you start that when you get a cold. And then green tea, black tea, not the normal tea that we get, but the ones that are, the more herbal ones, chamomile, they've got high in catechins, which have definitely helped fight viruses. So for our immune system, it's quite a lot there. And actually, these have got some really good evidence on there. Now, I'm going to look at some of the kind of other subjects as well, because we could go through each individual, but there are so many, it would be impossible to try and cover it all. So you'll see some pots of extracts of this or extracts of that, or vitamins with different brands on it. I'm not choosing any specific brand. I'm trying to be as fair as possible. So I'm not recommending one brand above another. So when you see all of those they're just examples which I think are just useful to understand what is available and where you can find it. So melatonin for insomnia, don't forget you can't get it in the UK without a prescription. You can get it in a lot of other countries. It's made in the pineal gland, and it helps you get to sleep, but it doesn't help you stay asleep. So if your problem is waking up early or waking up at night, it's not for you. But if it's trying to get to sleep, and obviously of jet lag, then just take 0.5 to 3 milligrams before you go to bed. Valerian, that's that lovely pink plant there you can see, very natural, lots and lots of things in Boots and other Holland and Barrett and other places where you'll find valerian substance, which is actually really good. And that does give you a kind of slower, kind of drift off to sleep, and it keeps you asleep. It's not nearly as strong as some of the medication, but probably a lot safer, not much of a hangover. 5-hydroxytryptophan is used for depression as well. It's something you can get from the extract here of Griffonia seed extract, and that does been shown to both for depression and also for sleep. And L-theanine, 100, 200. That's another one, which is a natural coming from green tea. Now, obviously, because these are supplements, there's less kind of regulation about it, but please check with the manufacturer, check what you're taking at the time before starting any of these. And if you're pregnant or got some other diseases or taking drugs like warfarin, please check with the GP, because some of these are quite powerful. And we always think supplements are nice and easy things to take because they've got no side effects. Some of them are really quite potent, and some of them have been taken off that supplement list. Now, let's have a look at another one. It's going to be coming up. And actually, hay fever is a bad choice of words, because it's not just during the summer. You get the tree pollen starting about now. Birch will be coming through very soon. And you'll start to get hay fever all the way through the year, right through to fungal spores at the other end in November, December. So butterbur leaf extract for migraines and hay fever. Some worries about liver toxicity. So you do have to have the ones that are certified PA-free, which is the alkaloids, and it's not for pregnant women, definitely. So again, it's got some issues on this one. Epicor yeast extract is fermented powder. It's used from brewer's yeast, very safe. Effectiveness, okay, but not strong, but you're not going to have any problems with that. Now let's look at one I get a lot of as a GP, and that's eczema in children. Good evidence really about one thing, and that's probiotics. And there's one particular probiotic. All the children's probiotics have got this Lactobacillus rhamnosus, GG, great name. And that can help reduce the severity of eczema. And GLA has some moderate evidence, and you'll find there's all being packed together very much with these to try and help children. And there's good systematic review that actually gives that evidence about it. So if you don't want to dive into the steroids, use moisturizers, obviously, but you don't want to just rely on these. You may need to have other corticosteroid creams or moisturizers as well. Now, the other problem that we find is hot flushes. Women who don't want to go, and men get it as well, but mostly women, don't want to go onto HRT, but actually want to try and find something else. Is there anything that can help the hot flushes? Well, so with all these things, do your exercise, don't smoke, go for mindfulness, get your sage tea, avoid spicy foods, put all of those in place first. But then St. John's wort, alongside this 40 milligrams of black cohosh, and you can see the St. John's wort there, and you can see the black cohosh, that one with a B on it. So both natural plants. Make sure that you're aware of the St. John's wort side effects. If you're taking any other medication, particularly antidepressants, you shouldn't be taking St. John's wort. So just be aware again of these side effects. St. John's wort is quite an active ingredient, not just something you can take at any time and not worry about the side effects, or worry about what else you're taking. It can do that. High cholesterol, really nice one here, and that's this red yeast rice. In fact, it's so effective that in America, they've kind of called it a drug, because lovastatin, the manufacturers of lovastatin, said this is, cried foul, because they were making a drug, which is pretty much what red yeast rice is. It's a statin, and it's a natural statin, and you can get this quite easily. The red yeast rice, you can get that from many health food shops, and it is a really good way. But so is Movicol and some of the soluble fibers used for constipation. They're really good. And oats, 3 grams a day, they've got a beta glucan. They can help lower cholesterol. And then the phytosterols here, which are ones that are probably a little bit more specialist, but they drop the LDL by about 11%. But that's similar to another drug that's made out of phyto. So you can see that these supplements have all got the active ingredient to be made into drugs. So lots there for high cholesterol. And finally, migraines. The butterbur, again, like before we saw, but vitamin B2 has an effect if you take it every day, and magnesium. Now, 300 to 600 milligrams. In multivitamins, only 100 milligrams. So the low magnesium, that causes a substance P, which can lead to headaches. But if you're taking proton pump inhibitors, which is a omeprazole or lansoprazole, or have heavy periods, you may have low magnesium levels. So be aware of that. Multivitamins will give you some, but you need some more. So in summary, most supplements have poor evidence, compared to the prescription on medication, prescription-only medication. Data on interactions and side effects is not always known. So really we have to be a bit careful. They're so strict for if you're going to get a drug to market, but when it's a supplement, not so much research has been done. Obviously, a good diet, sun exposure, and exercise is way more effective, but there are some places for these supplements, and the debate will continue. And we'll do another session on some other areas as well. But not everything will work. And if it's safe and it's cheap, then you might continue. There'll be some doctors saying, don't take multivitamins because the evidence is only about that 8% cancer. But to be honest, I think I'm going to start taking multivitamins now. I wasn't before. I've looked at the evidence. I'm going to start that. That would be my one thing from today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that's been useful. But please join me again at 1:30 next Wednesday and look forward to seeing you then. Thank you very much.